Wow. This class is
I don't do it on purpose, it was just like a. And my mom did it. Ever, she never did that. Like, it's supposed to be right here on my hand, and then it's like.
all right. So here we go. Your quizzes are in Power School. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. So if you didn't do as well as you had hoped, next time you're going to practice a little bit more. All right? Which means maybe doing the problems over again. Maybe you should be doing them by yourself. Because it's just like anything else. When you're sitting out there and I'm up here doing it, it looks really easy. Right? It's like, I tell this story, it's a little embarrassing. All my kids played soccer, right? I was one of those parents. I'd sit there and I'd say, oh, run faster, or do this, or do that, you know? And finally, my second daughter, the spunky one, said, Mom, why don't you try? Why don't you try? So I joined in adult read. And guess what? It was a whole lot harder than those kids made it look, right? That was terrible. Because all I'd done was watch it, I'd never actually done it. Same thing with math. If you want to get good at it, you have to actually do it. Not just watch me do it, but do it. Okay? So if you didn't do as well as you thought, or hoped, or whatever, okay, it's just a quiz, you'll have another one, and you'll do better next time, right? Okay, we are going to graph this equation with our calculator. Alright, so let's see what we remember. This is where we left off. Let's see what we remember from yesterday. Okay? Do we remember anything from yesterday? Oh,
I remember anything.
okay. Let's turn it on. Let's hit Zoom 6, just so we have all the same screen. That sets the dimensions of your screen, so now we're all the same. That's why I did that. All right, go to y equals. Yesterday's equation might be in there. If it is, just hit clear. If it's not, we're good to go. We're ready to type in. So we hit y equals right here, y equals. And now we're gonna, oh wait, what might I wanna do first?
Oh, did you?
Anything bother you about this
Oh,
equation?
take out the X.
So we can move the 15 over. So now I'm gonna type that in. Now remember, if you are gonna type in an X, the only way to do that is to use your X button right here. Look at my fingers print. Right next to alpha is X. So press X. And then you need to square it. So I've got a button that squares right here. That's my squaring button. And then I'll do minus 8, then X again. And then plus 15. And then I will press graph. And I will see something that looks like this. Now certainly you remember from yesterday, lots of points on that graph. Which ones am I looking for?
X-intercepts.
The x-intercepts, which are also called what? Zeros. So I am looking for these 2 points called zeros. All right? Anybody remember how I get them?
They use like the.
I do, well, I'm going to use this in a minute, but first I have the second trace. Top row buttons. Second, and then trace. So blue, and then trace. And then which option do I choose? Zero, because that's what I'm looking for, are the zeros. And press enter. Now this one is going to be a little confusing to you because what happens after you press enter is the cursor, the flashing thing, shows up. But you don't see it here. It's in there, you just don't see it. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, it says X is 0 and Y is 15. You see that?
Yes.
That's where your cursor is. It's at 0, 15. So the cursor is right here. So you gotta move left. Right that way. You gotta go right, and eventually press slow. You see it come in? As soon as you can see it come in, press enter. And that will be your left bound. You guys with new calculators, you get a line. The other ones, you're going to get old calculators and you do something like that. Okay? Now, the cursor is flashing right here. You need to move it so it's at the bottom of this. Okay? So to the right of that point. So move it. Here we go. I'm moving. And as soon as it gets down there, I press enter. You guys with the new calculators, now it gives you this line. It gives me that. That's my right bound. Now it says, where do you think it is? Take a guess. Well, I think it's right there. So I'm gonna left a little bit till I get about there and hit enter. And then it will tell me what that answer is. That answer is 3. After you move your cursor, make sure you're pressing enter. After you're done moving it, press enter. Alright, one more time. Here we go, one more time. We're going to find this one. Okay? So, step 1, start over. Second trace. Which option do I pick? 0. Enter. Now, the cursor's probably flashing right here. But this is the point you're finding. So move it and set your left bound like right in here somewhere. This should be now your left bound. So over, enter. And now in comes your line. Now move it over here. So right. Okay, there it is. Now it's over here. After you got it where you want it, hit enter. Now let's take a guess. Let's move it back down until it gets about here. What'd you get? 5. You are right. 5. Okay. Alright, we're going to do one more. We're going to do letter C. Who are experts? Who knows what to do? Raise your hand. You know what to do. Okay. More than 2 of you know what to do.
I don't have a calculator.
All right, we got one more chance. We're going to do one more. Here we go. This one is this. Any ideas what we might do before we get started here? We might, this video,
Yeah. And then you guys subtract 1.
and subtract the 20. That sounds like a winner idea. Good. How is that? Okay with everybody? So before we start, we're going to clean up our equation. Okay, back to the beginning. Y equals. I already have an equation in there, so I'm going to hit clear. That will get rid of it. And now I'm going to put this one in. So 3x squared plus 11x, this is where your x comes from, minus 20. Hit graph. And this one looks a little funky. I don't want you to worry about it at all. It goes off the screen. It goes down like this, and then back up like this. It looks something like that. I know that it goes down and turns around. I just don't see that part, and it doesn't matter, because what am I looking for? If I'm solving this equation, I'm looking for the x-intercepts. So those are the points I'm looking for. I don't need to see the whole picture. All right, how do I begin finding my zeros now? I've got the picture drawn. Who remembers? Yep, second count or second trace, it doesn't matter how you think about it, same button. And then choose 0 and press enter. As soon as you press enter, after you've done, second count 0, you should see the cursor flashing. I don't see mine, but I know where it is. Look at your screen. Where is the cursor? 0, negative 20. So it is all the way clear down here. You need to have it over here. So which way are you gonna go? Now go left or right? Left, left, and eventually you're gonna see it, and when it gets up here, you're gonna press enter. So left. Here we go, lots of lefts. Just keep going, I promise it's gonna come in. Press enter. Got it. Now what? Now you gotta turn around and move it back down here.
Yeah.
So, right, enter. Now we're down here. So we're gonna go left again. Just a few clicks left. Press enter. I got -5. Anybody else get -5? There's an expert right back there. Alright, let's see if we can find the final one, the last one right here. What's this one? I don't know. Where do I start? Second count 0. So second trace 0. I don't know what to do. Start over. Now, my cursor is sitting right in here somewhere. Where do I want it to be? Over here somewhere? To the left of that point? So I'm gonna go right. Keep going to it. There, finally came. Press, I got it over here. Press enter. You have to be patient. And then move it up here. And then move it down here. Did you get 1.3 repeating? There's another expert back there.
Wait, where'd you put the, like the first one's all the way down at the bottom, the second
You
one
have
at the
to
top?
be, here's your curve. You have to, this is the left of the curve. The left is down here somewhere. This is the right of the curve, up there somewhere. You are surrounding that point. So you're building a line over here and a line over here. And then
1.3.
somewhere in the middle. 1.3. X equals. Yeah, X equals. All right. Let's put that down for a second. And let's look at problem 2. divide 4 first. This is not necessary, but I know some of your teachers have preferred that you get X by itself first, and that's fine. Doesn't matter. We're gonna use the same answer. So you can do this or not do this. It's up to you. Then we're gonna square root. So what is X going to equal? 5 halves, I heard? Now there's one thing I want you to put in your notes. Big and dark, so it sticks right out of you. Plus or minus. When you do this, you're always going to put a plus or minus on the right side. Always. So anytime you're doing this, you're going to have a plus or minus.
Anytime you do the square root.
Yep. Anytime, Brian, you put it in. Is there a square root in the problem? No. I put it in. And I put it in, got it plus or minus. Can somebody explain that to me? Why is that? Think about the graphs you just did. They were x squared equations. How many answers did we get to every single one of those graph ones? You got 2 answers. Is this an x squared equation? Yeah. So how many answers should it have? 2. You're not going to get 2 answers unless you remember the plus or minus. Okay? All right. How about the next one? Please don't say you want to boil it out. Could we? Yes. But that's going to turn a 15-second problem into a 4-minute problem. Square root both sides. Here, that is exactly like this. It's the same thing. I'm going to square root both sides. What is the square root of x minus 3 squared? X minus 3. Very good. What is the square root of 25? Whoa. Plus or minus? Plus or minus 5? You guys, I'm going to count it wrong. Plus or
Did you
minus?
not add 3 to both sides? Or not?
I'm not done.
Oh.
Yep. That's step 1. Ryan says, I'm solving for x though, Mrs. Ford. So I have to add 3. What are you adding 3 to? Well, you're adding 3 to positive 5, and you're adding 3 to negative 5, right? So guess how many answers we're going to get? 2. And one of them's going to be 8, and one of them's going to be
In C, could you divide 3 by both sides?
Yep. In fact, I would recommend that. I would recommend what you just said. We're going to divide both sides by 3. So, Mr. Hill, you wait back there?
Yep.
Okay. I know it's hot, you guys. Oh my gosh, I know it's hot. I've been in here all day. I get it. But we gotta power through. It's going to be hot playing football,
Yep.
right? You're
Yep.
not going to fall asleep on the field, so we're not falling asleep in here. All right, so I divided. Now what do I do?
X.
Square root. Now, the only difference with this one is, well, this side is what? What's the square root of this?
X minus
X minus 4. Perfect. What's this?
Plus and minus.
That's it. There's it. That's it. Can't do anything else with it. It's plus or minus the square root of 3. And then, like before, we still have to add 4. Now, when I add 4, I do it like this. I put it at the front. if you wanna add 4 at the back, it doesn't matter. These are the same thing in the row fine. They do not combine though. So either this is your answer or this is your answer. There's nothing else to do, Brian?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, because in my math class prior, if you did square root of 3 plus 4, you counted it wrong.
What?
Like if it's like the square root of 3 plus 4, you have to put the 4 before the square root of 3.
Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. The reason your teacher wanted you to do that is because if you're careless and you make this line a little too long,
Yeah.
then it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
So as long as you're careful, it makes zero difference. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable doing, just do it the way you feel comfortable. All right, one more. With you and your partner, take a minute and see if you can figure this out. Max and Sunny, are you guys okay? Yes.
So can you start out by square rooting that?
Okay,
Or no?
he says, should I start off by square rooting that? What do you think?
So you can.
Absolutely. We can't divide this time, Chase, because here the 3 was outside the parentheses, here the 2 is inside, you can't touch it. So, yep, that's step 1. So hopefully you and your teammates wrote this. Now, at this point, again, do whatever makes sense to you. But I need to understand there's 2 answers here. You're solving 2 equations. You're solving 2x plus 1 equals 4, and 2x plus 1 equals -4, and you're gonna get way different answers. You see that? You have 2 equations. All right, so 2x equals 3, I got 3 halves. And -5 halves. Take a minute and see how that looks to you. What do you think about that?
What's the plus and minus there?
Plus or minus, what right here, so this, I set it equal to +4, and then I set it equal to -4. So I'm gonna, you have to recognize you have 2 separate equations that need to be solved. Okay, how are we on that, okay? All right, now our directions change. And it says solve by completing the square. All right, tell me if you remember anything. I know you did this last year. Sonny? Okay, now let's talk about that for a minute. Sonny says, I'm walking down the hall. I found this quadratic equation laying in the hallway. I'm gonna solve it this way. Do you know how that was factored? And then you would say x equals 7, or -1. Perfect. You didn't follow the directions, but solved perfectly. And in the real world, it doesn't matter how you solve it, you solve it however you can get the answer. So this is fine. Except the directions say completing the square. Now, somebody's thinking, wait a minute, I know how to factor, I don't need to know how to do this square. What's wrong with that argument? Does everything factor? Yeah. So what do you do if it doesn't factor? Well, you need another skill, right? And that's the skill we're gonna do now. So these are the answers. And I'm telling you right now, people, in the real world, this would be absolutely But my job today is to help you get another strategy in case this won't work. Because right now you know if I made this a 1, that would not work. So, here's how we do completing the square. Step 1. Move the 7 to the other side of the equation. So right now we're just gonna go over here and add 7 over, get it over. Step 2. I am gonna add a number to both sides of my equation. It's a start to make it all familiar. Do you remember the number you might add to both sides? It's not 2, but that's a guess. To get the number that you add to both sides, you take half of 6, what's half of 6? 3, and you square it. 9. Now, if I were you, I would make a little note over here. Where did that 9 come from? You took half of 6 and squared it. Half of that number and squared it. This right here factors into a perfect square. In other words, if we did what he did this to this part right here, the 2 parentheses would be the same. Does anybody see how that factors? How does that, just this part right here, how does that part
You
factor?
take out 3.
X minus 3 squared. What's x minus 3 times x minus 3?
Why'd you take out x minus 3?
I'm factoring it. I'm doing what he did. I'm factoring this part right here. It factors into x minus 3 times x minus 3. It always will factor into the same, into one thing squared. It'll always be the same thing. If you FOIL this together, don't you get x squared minus 6x plus 9? That will always happen. So x minus 3. X squared, 3 squared minus. Always, always, always. And then it's going to equal 16. That was kind of familiar. What do I do next? Square root. So x minus 3 equals plus or minus 4? And x equals 3 plus or minus 4? Well, what's 3 plus 4? What's 3 minus 4? So they are the same answers. You just did it with a different process.
So the second half of that problem, you didn't have to do it. You were just going the other way.
This was extra. This was not what we were supposed to do. This is completely square.
Okay.
I just let him go with this because it's good practice for us, and I wanted you to see if the answers are the same. But that is the process. Let's try the next one. The next one does not factor. So you're not going to be able to shortcut it. So let's follow our steps. What was the first thing we did? Plus 2 to the other side. Thank you, Isaiah. Plus 2 to the other side. Now what do? You figure out what we're going to add. And to figure out what we're going to add, remember that rule? We take half of 8 and square it. you gotta figure out what's in there. It's gonna be x plus what? 4, bingo, equals 18. Now what? Square root. So x plus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 18? What about it? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and subtract that 4 over. I put minus 4 at the beginning, you could have put minus 4 at the end. Do you think we're done? Why are we not done? Because the square root of 18 breaks down. So my final answer is going to be x equals negative 4 plus or minus 3 root 2. Alright friends, we have one more completing the square problem. I would like you and your teammates to get started on it, but before you do, I have one hint for you. Look at problem C. What is different about it? There's 2 out front, right? So step 1, divide everything by 2. Get rid of that 2. Divide everything by 2 so that you have x squared minus 10x plus 2. That is what you are going to solve. Okay? Go for it. Yeah, focus in. Hang on. All right, tell me step 1. What did you guys do for step 1?
Divide everything by 2.
Well, yeah. After we divided everything by 2, then what did we do? Added or subtracted 2 to the other side.
I did not do that.
Then half of 10 is 5, squared is 25. So that's what we add to both sides. That's the hard part. Once you added 25, this side should be this. X minus 5. Very, very good. X minus 5. Very, very good. X squared, 5 squared minus. There we go. Equals 23.
You got square both sides.
Square root both sides. So x minus 5 equals plus or minus root 23.
Now you got to add 5.
And add the 5 over, so x equals 5 plus or minus root 23.
Where's the 2
It's over here.
No, that you divided.
When you divided everything by 2, it just disappeared. It's like if you have 5x equals 15. If you divide both sides by 5, you have x equals 3, right? This 5's gone. All right, one more problem. Here we go. 4a. Could you complete the square on this problem? In other words, could you do what we just did on this problem if you wanted to? Yeah. You can move the 9 to half of 8 squared and all that. You could do that. But these directions have changed. Now we're using the quadratic formula.
That's easy.
Okay? So on test day, there's going to be a problem that says solve by completing the square. Then there's going to be another problem that says solve with the quadratic formula. So you got to be able to do both. Who remembers anything about the quadratic formula? All right, Max?
Negative b plus or minus square root a, or no, 4a.
If they get the right
Over
line,
2.
then
Over
b
2.
squared minus 4ac all over
2a.
2a. Yep, there it is. That's your quadratic formula. You have to know that. And I'm not talking about just for me or Mrs. Ford. I'm talking about if you're ever going to take a math class again in your life, which most of you are, maybe all of you are, you're going to need to know the quadratic formula. They're not going to give it to you. It's something you need to know. So, if you don't already know it, get it wrong. The A, the B, and the C are these numbers right here, right? So A is, in this case, 1. B is 8. And C, watch it, is actually negative 9.
Yeah.
0.
It helps some people to actually write that down. You don't have to do that. But once you know A, B, and C, it's just a matter of plugging and chugging, right? So quickly, x equals negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 4 minus 1 times negative 9.
36.
Negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 100. Uh-oh, what's the square root of 100? 10. So negative 8 plus or minus 10. What's negative 8 plus 10? 2 divided by 2. What's negative 8 minus 10? Negative 18 divided by 2. I know we flew through that, we'll do another one next time, but I think we're at the end of the period. So, there we go, we'll stop there and pick up there next time. Alright, so, I still have that song from church in my mind, so I'm gonna remind you to take your candle and go light the world, that's right.